It is but a stage.
It is not enough.
It is a stage. To move in haste would risk incinerating this body, and that is not what we want. Why think thee that the necromancers use their ritual skills to suck the lifeblood from the world heart? Why think theeist that not one among them can control the flame? They can but use the energy of the world heart. We hold its power, the flame. Aside from the dragons, no fleshly vessel has ever been able to master it.
And see what good it did them. Now that I am revealed, the sorcerers will covet this power.
As do thy supposed allies. Thou shouldst beware of them and their weakness. Let nothing stop thee from preserving thyself lest we finish, as did the dragons.
Perhaps it is time I took things in hand.
Vulcan, have you seen something?
They use thee.
Coming, Vulcan. Your captain will be wondering where we are.
Huh? Yeah, of course. Let's go.
There you are, sire. Right. Change of plan. Seeing how cold it is, it will come as no surprise to you to learn that the Deadwalkers have already been here. They are still close.
We must rejoin my father's army as swiftly as we may.
I think we already found them. Take a look around us.
There are survivors. Apparently they are camped not far from here. This soldier will lead us to them.
Prince Arundel, my lord, can it be you?
Soldier, what happened here? Is the king with you?
The Deadwalkers took us by surprise. The cold and the ice. We stood no chance. Almost all of the city has been invaded by the ice.
My father! Where is the king?
I know not, your highness. But a few of us were able to escape. Lord Commander Valen has built a camp close by the city.
Valen is here! Take us to his camp.
By your leave. Follow me, my lord.
My prince, we had lost all hope of seeing you return safe. We have no word from Bastion.
Bastion is lost, Valen. We came into this war too late. The General of the Alliance gave his life that I should escape with Relmar.
The deserter. What business did he have at Bastion?
The deserter was fighting, while you and your wondrous army waited, warm and safe, sat upon their asses. I hope the result is pleasing to you, Valen.
Silence! Both of you! Relmar saved my life, Valen. For now you will consider him pardoned.
By your will, my lord. And I see that you are escorted by the Freeborn Blades.
In truth, they are escorting the Red Scribes, but their presence is our good fortune. They have already once put the Deadwalkers to rout in the marshes. This woman slew one of their generals before my very eyes. I will tell you more of this later. Now I must speak with my father. Where is he?
No one knows, my prince. The king was still in the royal palace when the river Estelduin fell upon the city.
The river? What happened?
'Twas like a great wave that froze all that it touched. We had seen the approach of the Deadwalkers' vanguard 4 days before, and we had raised Caraldthas' defenses in preparation. Not even the sight of 10 juggernauts would have feared us. But we never dreamt that an Ice Lord would come to lead the assault himself. He walked calmly to within an arrow's flight of the gates, never once speaking. And then, the river rose up from its bed to form a gigantic cloud that hung up over Caraldthas. We understood our peril too late. Near all of our soldiers stood atop the ramparts or in the streets when the ice cloud fell. All were frozen where they stood. That was his signal to launch their assault, but we were already vanquished. We fought to cover our retreat.
We must find the king!
I know, my prince, but every entry to the city is guarded, and we cannot risk being discovered.
It is clear we will not travel 200 paces if we do not first slay the sentinels close to the encampment. Only then will we be able to attempt to enter the city and save your father.
I'm sorry, but you'll be going without the Freeborn Blades. Our mission here is completed. We will only be able to go on a reconnaissance mission. I had men in Caraldthas. If they're still alive, I must do all I can to get them out. But if it's confirmed that they're dead, my company are leaving. The Red Scribes have been delivered to Caraldthas. Our contract has been fulfilled.
We are only delivered outside the city gates of Caraldthas, Captain. The gold that we owe you lies inside its walls.
We have brought you as close as is possible. I will not send my men to their slaughter. You are in the hands of the Elven army now, Estas, as was promised. The fact that you failed in your mission is not my problem. You can keep your goddamn gold. There's nowhere left in this cursed region to spend it anyhow.
That is regrettable, Captain. Your experience would have been a boon to us. I can only hope you will reconsider your decision.
Some of my soldiers tell me that the Deadwalkers have taken prisoners. Perhaps your own men are amongst those unhappy souls.
Vulcan, we'll make camp close to the south gate. You go and question those lads. With a little luck, one of them might have seen something.
Understood, Captain.
Wait! Wait! There are many powerful creatures around us.
How powerful?
One of them feels too strong, even for you. The others are less able to resist you. You should start with the weaker ones and absorb their energy before taking on the big one. Do you think you can handle it?
I'll let you know after I've tried.
Mercenary, can you give me a hand again? You've been invaluable up to now. There was a library in the city. Could you take a look to see if there are any books left on the object you brought back for me from the temple?
Can you be more specific? I can't go looking through all the books on the shelf on the off chance I get lucky and find the exact info you need.
Maybe I could go with you. I've always dreamed of looking through all the books of the renowned Caraldthas library.
Well, let me see. Going into the city isn't really something you do for your health, you know. I can't take the risk. We have to find another solution. You got a moment? I wanted to ask you a few things. What do you know about Caraldthas?
It's a very ancient city. Far more ancient than it appears. The elves are master preservers of architecture. They shrink from destroying, preferring to construct new strata on top. You can find traces of Caraldthas in works that are over 1,000 years old. Some buildings, like the royal palace, are of unequaled complexity. But the city also incorporates more primitive districts. And there must be underground areas as a result of all these piles.
What happened here?
As far as I understand it, the Elfin army was caught unaware by powerful magic that buried them under ice in an instant.
They didn't stand a chance.
And how could they? Such magic requires the presence of a very powerful sorcerer, someone on the order of an Ice Lord. They rarely take to the battlefield, but when they do, all hope is lost. Rumor here has it that it was the work of Blackfrost.
Who is this Blackfrost?
Don't tell me that you don't know the name.
Don't take me for an idiot. I know what he is. but that doesn't really help much, does it?
He's one of the 7. He's known for his craftiness, his guile. He prefers using magic rather than his armies. In the past, he used to be more discreet. But for 2 years now, he's been leading the Deadwalkers' assaults, and is regularly seen in the front lines.
What changed?
I don't know. The Ice Lord's alliance is a delicate balance. It is possible that this is the result of an internal power struggle. He has certain abilities that make him fit for the role. Black Frost is without a doubt very effective. Just look at the destruction around us.
Let's change the subject. See you later.
So, did you find a book on what we found?
No, there are way too many books to go through, and enemies everywhere. I need some kind of reference or clue as to where to look.
Just in time, Vulcan. I'm afraid I need your help again.
What happened to you now?
To me, nothing. It's about my people. Have you ever heard of the Stone of Souls?
No. Worth a lot?
No. I mean, yes. It's priceless, but it's not for sale.
I'm not sure I follow you.
I'll explain. Every elf possesses a Stone of Souls, which contains the memories and emotions from all the greatest moments of his life. These stones are passed from generation to generation. It's a way of preserving the memories of our people and of honoring our ancestors. With all of those who died at Caraldthas, there are thousands of stones abandoned in the city. We cannot just leave them there. You're no doubt the one who will be traveling to our city the most. If you could bring back as many of them as possible, I'd be eternally grateful. Actually, all of my people will be in your debt. At least the ones who still live.
All right, I'll take care of it. Don't expect to see me dancing around with a wheelbarrow full of rocks.
That would in fact be an amusing sight. But I do get your meaning. Whenever you can, check the bodies of elves you come across and collect the stones. Even if we manage to save only a very few, we will at least preserve some of the memories of my people.
I'll see what I can do. Let's change the subject. I have a few questions I need to ask you. I'm guessing this is not the way you'd always imagined coming back to your lands.
For years now, I've been waiting for the day when I could go back to my city. But deep inside, I've dreaded this moment. If I was ever coming back home, it could only mean one of two things. Either I'd been captured by my people, or I'd been forgiven because I was right. I would have preferred being captured. My city has fallen, and I do not recognize it.
This is no time to feel sorry for yourself. This war is not over yet, and your people need you now more than ever.
We have been swept away. There is no more army, no more supply base, and nothing left to fight for.
How long have you been harassing the Deadwalker army without getting caught by your people?
Nearly 7 years.
7 years of guerrilla warfare, and you're still here. You know exactly how Caraldthas is laid out. You are going to be essential in the days to come.
Perhaps. We shall see.
Let's change the subject. Let's move on.
Vulcan, I hope you've got good news.
There were Freeborn Blades in Caraldthas. Do you know if they survived?
Your captain told me about them, but I don't know what happened to them. Some of my soldiers reported that they saw humans among the Deadwalkers' prisoners. That's all I know. Talk to them. They can tell you if they were your brothers in arms or not.
What's the situation between here and the city?
We've lost control of the outlying areas. The Deadwalkers have set up 2 watchtowers and are patrolling the Caraldthas perimeter. If we make the slightest sortie, they'll spot us.
Two towers, huh? I could take them for you, if it would give us some breathing room.
That would let us try to execute some sorties. Up to you. But if you do try it, I'd be much obliged if you would let me know as quickly as possible. Because that breathing room won't last long before the Deadwalkers realize something's up.
I still haven't found your passageway beneath the city.
It's there, somewhere. And we have to find it. It's our only chance.
I have some questions I'd like to ask you. How did you survive the battle at Caraldthas?
I was lucky. When we got wind of the arrival of the Deadwalkers, our king sent me to reconnoiter. I was outside Caraldthas when they attacked. Over the days that followed, I tried to gather together as many survivors as I could. Alas, that was all I could do.
Do you have any information about what's going on in the city?
Very little. I can only trust what the last soldiers who got out have said. Apparently, most of the Deadwalker troops have left, including Lord Blackfrost. He assigned one of his concubines to control the region, but I have no idea what kind of creature we're dealing with. That said, if the Ice Lords keep to their usual tactics, they'll clean up the last pockets of resistance and start transferring their prisoners.
Do you know if there's any other resistance in Vertiel?
The rare information I get these days is not good. Several human kingdoms have capitulated unconditionally. The Chiller has apparently laid waste to one of the major elf settlements in the east. We have no news of the others. There are probably pockets of resistance, but they are tiny and have no hope against the Deadwalkers.
This war is lost. Thou wouldst better find the deepest pit and cower there until all is over.
It is my duty to fight to the last breath, regardless of what chance you think we have of succeeding.
What can you tell me about the prince?
I understand what you're asking. Is he up to it? The answer is yes. Since the start of this war, the prince has always been in the front line. He has demonstrated skill and courage, sometimes endangering his own life. He has, of course, taken some unnecessary risks, but the situation was different then. I think he'll be more cautious in the future.
I see. The young prince wanted to prove to his father that he was deserving of his affection.
He was merely seeking to protect his people.
I'll be going now.
Mercenary, I owe you my life. I'll never forget that.
How did you get out of your coma in the village?
I don't know. All I know is that I opened my eyes and heard the sound of fighting. I just had the time to grab my weapon and get out into the village square. It looked like the general of the Deadwalkers was waiting for me. Sometimes, the sense of duty is more powerful than the pain of wounds.
Maybe the cure we made finally worked.
Relmar told me about that. Maybe you saved my life twice, not just once. Who knows? In any case, I owe you a lot. I won't forget it.
Do you know Relmar very well?
I knew him well. A long time ago, when we were young. He and I were milk brothers. We grew up together in my father's palace. But life goes on, and by the time we were adults, we were forced to part. Relmar defied my father's authority, and openly rebelled against his people. He betrayed us.
He had a good reason for it.
A good reason? What reason? Dragging us into a war with the Ice Lords without preparation?
He did the right thing. He didn't want to watch all of Vertiel suffer and die. If the elves had helped then, maybe we wouldn't be here today.
We could talk about how just his cause is for days. How could we know what would have happened? Maybe we wouldn't be here today. He wanted to act fast. He was always impulsive. But that behavior led him to reject his king. And his best friend at the same time. He betrayed us, and his recent feats of arms can't change anything, even if it wounds my heart.
Why did the elves enter the war so late?
That decision cost us dearly. It isn't easy to watch the other peoples of Vertiel suffer and fall one after the other. But our king felt that we needed to gain time. We had information about the Deadwalkers that led us to be careful. Long before the war officially began, they were already crushing all of their opponents far to the north.
And you said nothing? You could have warned the other kingdoms.
We told them to avoid the fight, to flee and regroup. They didn't listen to us. So we preferred to stay neutral and not provoke the Ice Lords. They must have known they couldn't defeat us without losing a large part of their strength. So they saved the greatest prize for the last. We thought that our best trained troops could hold them. We underestimated them, and neglected to take into account the fact that each army they defeated made them stronger.
Are you from Caraldthas?
Yes, I was born there. I spent most of my life there. Caraldthas is one of the most ancient of our cities. I mean, it was. We knock things down so seldom that the city is built in layers. But I've unfortunately never visited the underground levels, and I'm unfamiliar with the passageways there. I suppose that's why you asked the question.
I'll be going now. Damn, it's freezing in here. Aren't you cold?
I've spent many winters in libraries with no heating. After that, you hardly notice the cold. Which reminds me, do you know if the library in the city is still intact?
No idea. You looking for any book in particular?
Not a book, many books. The elves have the most advanced culture in the world. Their libraries contain works of inestimable value. We should find them. They could be useful to us. Vulcan, I have to talk to you about Edwin. I saw you getting friendly with her. You should be more careful. She is not what she pretends to be.
I know she's not playing straight with us. She's got her little secrets, just like everyone else.
You don't understand. It's a lot more serious than little secrets. I found some very worrying information in one of the last books I read. 200 or 300 years ago, there were other groups of sages and magicians, like the Red Scribes. One of these orders was called the White Lords.
So you think that they were the ancestors of the Ice Lords or something? What does that have to do with Edwin?
I'm getting to that. The White Lords lived in the north of Vertiel, out in the ice. We know little about them. For a long time it was believed they had disappeared. But in reality, they somehow transformed themselves. And in one of the books that I consulted, I found an engraving of a woman, one of their leaders. It was the portrait of that witch.
It is suspicious. We'll have to check it out.
Since you seem so close to her, try to find out more about her past. How old is she? Where was she born? I don't know. Just something, anything that might give her away.
I'll have to be careful so she doesn't get wise to me.
Keep me informed, but believe me, I'm almost sure it is her.
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
I have nothing to say to you, mercenary. You want to follow these gutless elves? That's your choice, not ours. Now leave us!
Mercenary.
Did you see any Freeborn Blades in Caraldthas after the Deadwalkers' assault?
Any what?
Freeborn Blades. Mercenaries like me.
Difficult to say if they were mercenaries, but I saw some humans, yes. Some of them got captured by the living dead. Others... Anyway, I don't need to draw you a picture.
Do you know where they were taken?
Only thing I saw was that they were split into several groups. For the rest, I was too busy staying alive.
How did you manage to make it through the battle?
Bit of luck, just like with everyone who survived. I pulled guard duty so many times in a row that I was sent on R&R. If you really want to know, I was in a steam room when the attack came, having a really hot bath. It was horrible. The deathly silence that fell on the city just like that, with just that awful cracking of ice. Anyway, I jumped into my uniform and ran like crazy until I found my commander. And now here I am. Nothing really heroic about it, I'm afraid.
What can you tell me about your commander?
I hardly know him. I wasn't in his unit. As far as I know, he wasn't that high up, but he's the highest ranking officer we have left. Anyway, I have to admit that he managed to bring us together, set up camp, and get a bit of cohesion going in us fugitives. That's not too bad.
How are things going in the camp?
Bah, we're short of everything and morale's not great. But we're together and alive. And most of us are really pissed off. In a way, you could say everything's fine. Even if I heard that the survivors from the human army were kicking up a bit of a fuss.
I'm leaving.
We'll be watching this sector. Thank you for your help, mercenary.
for the help, mercenary. We're going to keep watch in this sector. If I were you, I wouldn't go near the main gate to the city. There are a lot of Deadwalkers over there.
I took care of that Deadwalker barricade that was bothering you.
Really? Excellent. Now we can keep watch everywhere on the steps.
I still haven't found your passageway beneath the city.
It's there, somewhere. And we have to find it. It's our only chance.
I'll be going now.